When a deal falls through, the average leader takes 3 days to recover. An elite leader operating with legit mindset takes 90 seconds. That is zero latency. An emotion is not a defect. It's an internal signal. The moment you stop saying, I am angry, and start realizing anger is a signal moving through me, you regain total authority. Stop carrying yesterday's stress into today's boardroom. Stream episode 130 now and book your subconscious audit at bespokehumanpotentialcoaching.com. Be legit. When an enterprise takes an unexpected hit, low-grade leadership systems experience massive operational lag. A deal falls through, a key executive resigns, or market shifts impact revenue. The average business owner spends 3 days processing the frustration, holding the reactionary meetings, and carrying that heavy somatic baggage into every room they enter. They treat an emotional turbulence like an uninvited house guest that gets to live in their nervous system for a week. Competent leaders might recover in 3 hours, but elite, high conduction leaders operating with legit mindset, zero latency is the total elimination of the time delay between an operational disruption and your complete sovereign recalibration. It is the ability to hit a wall at 100 miles an hour, systematically release the weight in real time, downregulate the somatic noise, and restore your prefrontal clarity in seconds flat. Up until now, on this show, we have built your subconscious operating system and trained you to intercept midday resistance. Today, we are upgrading your transmission speed. We are introducing the Daily Emotional Integration Protocol, the exact framework to transform chaotic internal signals into immediate, actionable intelligence, returning your system to instant weightlessness. No lengthy recovery time, no carrying yesterday's stress into today's boardroom or today's board meetings, just pure, rapid calibration. Welcome to the Legit Mindset Podcast. I'm Curtis Mccullom, your host. Let's execute precision alignment. To understand how rapid calibration works at the biological level, we have to look at the intersection of neurobiology and emotional physiology. Researchers at the Mind-Heart Institute studied the mechanics of neurobiologic coherence. When the leader experiences sudden anger, frustration, or hesitation, the rhythm of their heart rate variability, the HRV, becomes jagged and chaotic. This chaotic pattern sends a direct neural signal through the vagus nerve and the amygdala, instantly inhibiting the executive function in the prefrontal cortex. However, using targeted psychological integration shifts the system into a systematic coherence within seconds, restoring the prefrontal clarity and generating immediate somatic weightlessness. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. That was a mouthful. Think of it like this. You're driving a high-performance car down the highway. And if you suddenly slam on the gear shift from fifth into reverse while 70 miles an hour, the transmission grinds, the engine shakes, the dashboard lights up in red. That grinding engine is a chaotic HRV signal. The car doesn't care how good of a driver you are. The hardware physically locks up to protect itself. But when you step on the clutch, downshift smoothly, and let the engine match the speed, the car glides forward effortlessly. That smooth downshift is your neurobiologic coherence. The Daily Emotional Integration Protocol is simply taking your foot off the gas, stepping on the clutch and shifting back into high-performance alignment before you wreck the transmission. To look at another way is that Dr. Paul Ekman demonstrated through his research in refractory period of emotional states that the initial biology cascade of an emotional trigger lasts about 90 seconds. 90 seconds. Anything beyond 90 seconds is not a biological necessity. It's an automatic subconscious choice to re-trigger the loop. When you carry an operational frustration for days, you are actively choosing to reinterject cortisol into a clear environment. You're choosing that. You are choosing to stay stuck. The daily emotional integration framework is engineered to catch that 90-second window, complete the signal's communication, and systematically release the charge before it hardwires into an operational bottleneck. Here's the architect of the 5-step emotional integration. Let's break it down exactly how this works. An emotion is never a random defect. It is an internal signal, information created by thought, perception, or internal expectation. When acknowledged properly, the signal completes the communication and naturally releases. My mentor and teacher, Tim Zimmerman Sierra of the Hypnotherapy Academy of America, states it like this: a feeling is just an emotion that wants to communicate with us and leave. I'm going to tell you that again. A feeling is just an emotion that wants to communicate with us and leave. So now here are the 5 steps. Here are the 5 steps. The step number 1 is this: notice the signal. The moment the friction hits, you don't fight it or fix it. You notice the internal signal. Just notice it. And it's going to show up in at least 3 ways. 1 is an emotion. It's going to be frustration, anger, something like that. Or the other way would be a body sensation. Your chest tightens up, or you clench your jaw, you grab your head, or repeating a thought pattern. I should be further along, or why did I do something like this? You're just completing that thought. You remind yourself a signal is not a problem to fix. It's the information asking to be acknowledged. I say it again, a feeling or emotion is just a thought that wants to communicate with us and leave. That's all you want to do is acknowledge it. Step number 2, you want to separate the identity from the signal. You create an immediate distinction between who you are and what you are experiencing. You shift from internal language from I am angry to anger is present as a signal right now. Or I'm feeling anger. Or from I am unworthy or I'm not good enough to a familiar unworthiness signal is being activated right now. Sometimes you think, I'm feeling fear. I'm not fearful. I'm not fearful. I'm feeling fear. You anchor into the truth. This experience is moving through me, not defining me. So that is really important to always identify with it, not identify with it, but just experience it for what it is. Step number 3, regulate the body. You execute 3 slow diaphragmatic breaths. A diaphragmatic breath, you want to breathe in through your nose. What I normally do is I breathe in through my nose with a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 as I breathe in. Then I hold the breath for a count of 7, holding it for 7. Then I'm exhaling through my mouth, allowing the exhale to kind of go out through with slightly parted lips. And I do that about 3 times. What this does, this physical shifts, it activates the vagus nerves. It's signaling the neuroception that you are safe. Down-regulating the amygdala and restoring the coherence. You're getting out. Bottom line is this, guys. You're getting out of the fight or flight mode. By taking a deep breathing, relaxing the body now feels safe. So you're now out of fight or flight. Step number 4, consult your inner authority. From that state, that biological safe state, you ask your prefrontal cortex 3 precise questions. The first question is, what is this signal asking me to recognize? Ask yourself that question. What is it this acting? Sometimes I just close my eyes and still ask myself that question. What does this signal want me to recognize? Another question would be, what is ready to be released or completed? Because you remember, a feeling is just an emotion that wants to communicate with us and leave. So what is ready to be released or completed? Let me just ask myself that. What is that? And the third question is, what adjustments restores the alignment right now? What do I need to do right now? What type of adjustments do I need to do to restore it right now? Now, you may notice that there are no why questions. Why questions tap into the deep recesses of your subconscious mind and pull out all the stuff, all the reasons that confirms your current state. So remember, what questions? What is it it's trying to communicate with me? What is the signal trying? What is it trying for me to recognize? What is it I need to release? What adjustments do I need to do right now? Step number 5, capture and integrate. Now, once you ask yourself that question, your subconscious mind and your higher self will come up with some answers. Write down the answer without editing or judging. Identify the one aligned action you can take today and execute it. Regardless of what it is, regardless of how small you think it is, just do it, because your next step might be the step that moves you forward, right? Now, remember, if you can notice a signal, you are already separate from it. Awareness restores authority without force. Let's talk about the subconscious audit. If you find that your emotional latency is still measured in hours or days rather than seconds, hear me clearly. You don't need another stress management book. You need a rapid baseline recalibration. The subconscious audit is a hyper-targeted 15-minute diagnostic protocol engineered exclusively for multi 7 and 8-figure leaders who skip the talk therapy and all the regular traditional coaching rabbit holes. We look directly into your subconscious hardware and pinpoint the hidden safety scripts causing your operational lag and calibrate your system for rapid, weightless execution. Stop letting old baggage dictate your speed. Go to bespokehumanpotentialcoaching.com right now and book your private diagnostic audit today. Let's upgrade your grid. Back to the show. Here's the application. Let's apply this. How can we achieve immediate weightlessness? When you install daily emotional integration into your executive day, the dynamic of your entire business changes. You no longer fear high-stake boardroom friction or market variability because you know that no signal can trap me. The moment an internal signal surges, you separate identity from the experience, you regulate the vessel, you extract the intelligence, and you release the weight. You move from a state of heavy, defensive struggle to a state of immediate weightlessness. Your team feels the sovereign baseline through the mirror neural system. Your executive team stops operating in a reactive panic and mirrors your calm, your high conduction focus. You become the anchor that stabilizes the entire enterprise, making decisions from pure clarity rather than residual stress. Zero latency is not about suppressing your humanity. It's about honoring your signals so fast that they never get a chance to slow you down. If this episode gave you a new baseline for executive execution today, take immediate ownership. Leave a comment below and tell me, what is the one emotional signal you are choosing to separate your identity from today? Hit subscribe and leave a direct review on the platform, and share this masterclass with an executive who's currently carrying too much weight. Let's help them achieve zero latency. This is a Legit Mindset Podcast. I'm Curtis Mccullom. Be legit.